That's
You got the
correct.
book
Huh?
in front of you?
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to episode number 42 of Let's Go Racing with David Starr. Tyler Jones here with you. So glad to have you with us. Coming up on today's show, we are live from Kansas City with reaction to Kyle Larson's 9th win of 2021. We'll break it all down for you as we were live at the race, and we're bringing you this show a little bit delayed. We had some changes in schedule and format, but nonetheless, we are here bringing you this show live on Facebook and on YouTube. And we certainly appreciate you joining us. As always, we are presented by Whataburger. Don't forget that every Whataburger is made fresh, served hot, prepared just like you like it. Want jalapenos and cheese on that? No problem. They've got you covered. Whataburger, proud to serve it hot and fresh 24 hours a day. David, it is good to see you, even if we're squeezed in tight here and acting like we like one another. But nonetheless, how we doing after today's race?
Man, we're doing good. First of all, we do like each other. And hey, man, it was a long day for all of us. And, man, I'm doing great. Glad was able to get our podcast done tonight. And man, what a long day, man. Weather, it was cold, warmed up, rainy. I mean, we've had it all today, but what a great day it was.
It was. Dominic Aragon is here as well. Dominic, how we feeling?
Doing great, man. So in New Mexico, they always joke they'd experience all 4 seasons in one day.
Yeah.
We experienced that at Kansas Speedway today. A little bit of the cold, a little bit of the heat, a little bit of the wind. It's like all 4 seasons.
I think all the heat
One
came
day.
from Kyle Larson.
Yes,
Yeah,
I think it's so
definitely,
true.
definitely.
Man, what a day it was for Kyle with that performance. And we'll start there in just 1 second. Before we do, guys, we've been on the road together the last 2 weeks. We went to Texas. Now we're here at Kansas. And I got to say, it's just been a lot of fun of what we've experienced. Last week, we had a live studio audience. This week, we're crammed into a hotel room, just getting this thing done so we could bring this to you tonight. But nonetheless, glad that we're all here and that we could do this, Dominic. It's been a nice little way to end the season of some sorts.
It sure has. I mean, there's something about, we try to take these shows live for you guys when we do them midweek, but there's just that live element when you're doing it after a race week and the raw, natural reaction. So much fun. It's a lot of fun working with you guys. And I preach it all the time. It's like time moves in warp speed a lot of the time. We've been doing this a year.
I know.
It doesn't feel like a year.
It hasn't. It's amazing. I mean, we y'all have done a great job, and time it just moves so fast. In this racing business we're in, and everything else that comes along with life, it just man, it just seems like time moves really fast. But man, what an incredible weekend it was. Last weekend's race at Texas Motor Speedway was awesome. This week, man, it came and went. And man, it's been great. Great week, great couple of weekends of great racing, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, David, let's start with you. Tell us about your performances there with the Cup and Xfinity doubleheader you pulled off here.
Man, it was an exciting weekend. They had the New York Times bestseller author Brett Baer, a great guy.
Got the book right there.
Man, I tell you what, great book, unbelievable. And to rescue the Republic, Ford Mustang, we called it, for Saturday's Xfinity race. I mean, just the build up to
Matt, what'd you call that thing? The Commander?
The general.
General.
He was the general.
The general.
It's only that we call the car the general.
The general. So we're going to call our Ford, or to rescue the Republic, Ford Mustang, the general race car.
I like it.
Man, I tell you what, we couldn't wait for them to drop the green flag. And once they dropped the green flag, we went into turn 1, came off turn 3, and the engine was spitting and sputtering. And you could tell it was something was going on with the carburetor. And man, we ran the first 10, 12, 15 laps, whatever it was. And motor didn't have the power. And we come off the corner. The lateral forces of the way the banking is at every speedway across America, but here in Kansas, it was such a big disappointment to not have the engine running right. We ended up losing a lap, I think, within 20 laps. It was, I don't remember what it was. It might have been more laps than that, but it seemed like it was right away. And man, I just had big expectations of having a great race for Brett Baer in our to
rescue the Republic.
Yeah, I'm so tired. The general race car, and man, it just wasn't to be, and it was just a big disappointment, man. I'm still disappointed about it, but I tell you, the crew, Johnny Rudin, Carl Long, everybody did all they could do. We brought the car in, we worked on it, and had to bring it behind the wall. Nobody ever gave up. We finished the race, but man, you got to have that horsepower underneath the hood, and the engine's not running right. It's just so disappointing. But man, what a great looking race car we had, man. To rescue the Republic, Ford Mustang was just absolutely beautiful, and I had big expectations for a race. And then, man, next thing you know, they dropped the green flag and the motor's not performing right. Man, what a disappointment. So, God, it just Brett Baer is such a great guy, a great friend, and to have him part of our racing team and be able to represent him in NASCAR, man, I can't tell you what an honor it is. He's such a great guy. And I mean, I'm honored and humbled that he puts his name in this awesome book on our race car. And I mean, it says, New York Times bestseller. I mean, Brett Baer, he's the best. And man, when you put all our partners, Whataburger, everybody involved, everybody's winners. And I'm a winner and I want to win. And when they drop the green and your car's not performing like it needs to, it's such a big letdown,
Mm-hmm.
So, but that, hey guys, what do you call that? Racing. It's just racing.
Yeah,
just racing.
Well, what was interesting was from my vantage point, I was down there on pit road, and it was one of the first times I can ever say that I've actually gotten to see your reaction in real time to when things aren't going right. Because I walked down and I could see through the window, and I mean, and listening to the radio, there was a point of frustration, and rightfully so, that you had and such. That's not everything's always going to go right. I'll keep it clean. Poop happens. I mean, and so what are you thinking when you're going through those moments? I could see your, just your body language, but what were you thinking when, man, this just isn't our day?
Yeah, I mean, it just happened right off the start. When they drop the green flag and you're shifting, going from second gear to third gear to fourth gear, you go into turn one wide open, you come off turn two. I knew when I came off turn two for the first time to make the first lap, complete the first lap, I knew we had an issue. The motor wasn't running right, and man, you got to be hitting on all 8 cylinders. That thing's got to be screaming and running just perfect. And when it wasn't, I knew it was going to be a long day. But man, it's just like you said, poop happens. The frustration is, you're trying to, rally your team and be positive. And man, like I said, the buildup was so cool. The race car, just Brett Baer giving us an opportunity to have such a good-looking race car. I mean, the #1 seller book right now in the country.
Yeah.
I mean, Brett Baer's a winner. To rescue the Republic book is a winner, and I felt like I wanted to be a winner on the racetrack with it. And it just didn't happen. So man, the frustration level, it was over the top, and I was having a hard time, making sure I could compose myself, but it's just racing.
How much contact were you having with Brett throughout the week and after the race week? I mean, that was a pretty cool car deal. I was telling somebody, it kind of reminds me of like the $50 bill, because he's on the 50 and just that car it very much stood out. Did you talk to Brett at all?
Man, Brett's such a great guy. He's been busy. He's been on a national tour, signing autographs, bookstores. He's been everywhere promoting his book.
Yeah.
And, you're watching television, you see Brett Baer, he's everywhere, So I personally have not talked to Brett Baer, but he's been engaged with our social media. He sees what's going on.
Yep.
And Matt Jennings, great friend of mine, a guy that really engages and brings a lot of great people into the sport of NASCAR. And I'm fortunate that he brings a lot of great sponsor to me and my team.
Apologies to Matt Jennings, but we ran out of time.
But anyway, so Matt's that guy, but man, it's just frustrating. it's such a great sport. You know, the highs are awesome, but the lows are challenge. You know what I mean? It's no matter what we do in life, we're all competitive and we don't want to lose and we don't want things to happen, but it's part of it.
Well, I told some folks I do a better job of checking the comments in real time as we're doing this live show, and I'm holding to that. Got a comment here from Kyle. Kyle writes, hang in there, David, on your way.
Well, I can assure you that, man, you know, my team, myself, Matt, there's no quit in us. You know, I mean, we've had many lows in my career and many challenges, but you know, we're winners. We don't quit. We don't understand what that word means. We just got to put our heads down and keep digging and keep fighting. And that's what we'll do. That's what we're made of. And this kind of stuff happens in our sport, especially auto racing. It happens. It ain't perfect every week, even when you want it to be perfect, but it is what it is. So
Sure.
We'll just keep digging and look to Martinsville next week.
So when you have a race like this, Dave, and you're looking back on it, what are big lessons? What are big takeaways you can take for not only you as a driver, but you and your team as well?
Man, you know, it's preparation, and you know, and I got such a great racing team, being, you know, MBM Motorsports, Carl Long, my crew chief Johnny Rodden, and that's all the people involved, you know, and you know, I hold myself to a high standard. You know, the driver's got to do his part, and I expect the best. I expect, you know, from when I run any race, no mistakes and do the best we can do. And, you know, we're all human, so we do make mistakes. Things happen, but we'll win together as a team and we'll lose together as a team. But just as long as everybody, the preparation at the shop, everything's being checked, all the I's are dotted, all the T's are crossed. And, you know, it's just, you know, week in and week out, man, it's all about preparation at the race shop, you know, and my team does a great job. If there was a mistake made internally, you know, I don't know if there was or wasn't, you know, hopefully they can get that fixed, you know. But Carl Long, my team owner, man, you know, the disappointment in his voice, and, you know, I could hear him on the radio. He wasn't happy, and just the letdown for everybody. But hey, man, it's sports. It's what we do. And you can't let these lows, you know, get you down. That's behind us now. And I'm thinking about next week. You know what I mean? You have to. You gotta let that go. We can't control that. We can only control what's ahead of us. But man, I'm just honored to have Brett Baer on our race car and have him be a part of our racing program. You know what I mean? It's such an honor, and I'm so humbled by it.
Yeah, that's great.
And I only want the best for him. You know what I mean? He's, you know, he could have gone like any other racing team, any other race car driver. He chose us, and I want to put him in victory lane. I want to run good. I want him to love the sport like he does. He loves it. But, you know, since he's been involved with us, it seems like every time Brett's at the racetrack or he has his name on the car, it's like something happens. You know what I mean? And it's just coincidental that it happens that way. But, man, I want to run good. Just to get him excited, you know, keep him coming back for more. You know what I'm saying, guys?
Sure. Yeah. Mary comments, that was a great looking car. It was
a great looking car, Mary, no doubt about it. And man, it was beautiful the way it was designed, and, you know, the book cover, it was beautiful, you know. But you know, it's a beautiful race car, and I love having beautiful race cars. And all race cars look great when they're running good too. Even the ones that don't look that wonderful. But I always tell people, man, when they're racing good, when they're running good, they look beautiful.
And also, Mary says, "Happy birthday, Tyler! It was fun celebrating." It is not my birthday.
It's not.
Funny story tonight, and we'll backtrack for a second, and then we'll get back on topic. We go to dinner after the race, and as we're finishing up eating, everyone's singing happy birthday to me. I'm like, it's not my birthday. What's going on? I mean, this sucker here, damn it, David, you told him all it was my birthday. That was 5 months ago.
Well, I hear you, you know, but you know, Dominic, Tyler, myself, Matt Jennings, the jobs we got, what we get to do, man, we're just very blessed. We're very blessed, and I just want to say,
you just want to live every day like it's your birthday.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I want you guys to live every day like it's y'all's birthday. So, you know,
sure.
You know, Dominic was a little bit late getting there. It would have been his birthday, but it was your birthday today.
It's his
So it's
birthday
all
next
good.
time.
Absolutely. You know?
Okay, all right. I look forward to that.
Okay.
Uh,
I love that. It'll be somebody's birthday every day when we're hanging out. Kyle Larson, where do we start?
Wow. I mean, it's just the Kyle Larson show, I mean, there's just, it's amazing.
He's pretty good.
I had a source actually in the garage area town. They were thinking of renaming the series next year the Kyle Larson Cup Series.
I love the idea.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's do it.
I don't know how the end result's going to turn out, but if I was a betting man, he would be the guy that's going to bring home the cup in 2021. It's going to be our champion.
Yeah,
it's his to lose. I mean, it's the Kyle Larson show. It's amazing. I was out there racing today, and when he came by, there's always like a 5-minute delay before second comes by. He just man, he's on fire. Hendrick Motorsports. You look at the results today. Chase Elliott. You look at Chase Elliott, William Byron. And I think the 48 car, Alex Bowman, they were just all, I think at one point in time, all 4 of those cars were in the top 5, top 6, So they really found something that they found something in their race cars that maybe give them an edge on the racetrack. But I can assure you, Kyle Larson, from what I've seen personally and what everybody else in the country has seen, it doesn't matter if it's a NASCAR Cup Series, a midget car, it's a chili ball, a dirt wedge car at a dirt track somewhere across the United States. Whatever this kid gets into, he's a winner. And I'm not surprised by his dominance today. I'm going to say dominance because anytime when he lapped me, it was a little bit of a gap, and there was a lot of time before second came. I mean, so I'm not surprised by what Kyle Larson is doing and him winning the race today. I'm just excited to see who the final 4 guys are going to be going into Phoenix. And can Kyle Larson, and the way NASCAR has this playoffs, guys, you're going to have 4 guys that go into Phoenix Championship weekend. And if that particular race, Kyle Larson's car is just off a little bit, we might see a guy that just dominate the entire season, not win the championship. So it's kind of interesting, but it's definitely his to lose.
Yeah, it is. And you look back, this is a guy, Kyle Larson. Remember, he was running well early in his career, but it took him 100 starts to get his first victory. Now, his last 125 starts, he's got 17 wins in that stretch. I mean, it's amazing when you look at that. This guy worked so hard. We know the story about what he did to get back in the sport this year and all that, but just that turnaround. What do you think clicked for Kyle Larson? It seemed like that he's learned a lot both on and off the track to get to this point. It wasn't overnight for Kyle. We've always known he was talented, but it didn't just click instantly.
Man, Dominic, I mean, what I seen him do in Ganassi cars over the year was unbelievable, and winning races. But when we heard, we all kind of learned this together when Hendrick Motorsports announced that they was going to employ Kyle Larson in 2021. Only thing that come to my mind was, man, the field better look out, and
I think he said that on one of the first shows.
Yeah, and just everything that I thought and my my personal opinions of it, it's all happening. You know what I mean? You got Hendrick Motorsports, you got Kyle Larson, one of the talented race car drivers in the country,
in the
world. And man, that ingredients is amazing. I mean, that ingredients equals championships.
Sure.
And man, the sky's the limit for him, and it's kind of interesting to see. Is he going to win next week at Martinsville? I mean, he's going to win Phoenix. I mean, it's amazing, but good for him. I think with everything that's happened to him last year, and for him to get an opportunity to get back into sport with Hendricks, good for him, man. I'm happy for him, and I think it's a great feel-good story. The fans love it, and it's awesome.
Dave, you can give some really good perspective here, right? You raced against him in the Truck Series. You've raced against him over the years in the Xfinity Series, and now in the Cup Series on and off as well. What is it like when you're on the racetrack racing against Kyle Larson, or he passes you or you pass him? What is that perspective against racing one of the guys that's in his prime?
Yeah, you know, and
He passed you a couple times.
yeah, he's passed me a whole lot. You know, I think, you're just trying to, you know, listening to my spotter and looking at my mirror. You're just trying to make sure that you're giving him the line he wants. He's so fast. He runs, I mean, a half inch off the wall. And you know, but in Kansas Speedway, I mean, we run right on top of the wall. You know what I mean? You know, he's probably 25, 30 miles an hour faster than my car. I'm wide open out there, and I mean, you know, I'm wide open. My car is driving good. I'm wide open, and you know, they said, "Hey, 10 back, 5 back." I'm just making sure that I don't get in his way. You know what I mean? What any driver in my position and a lot of other drivers out there racing that I'm racing against, what you don't want to do is change the outcome of the race. You don't want to be in their way. You want to have respect for the guys that are winning the races, the guys running the top 10. And I was once one of those guys that was leading and winning races. And one of the things I remember was like when I come up to lap somebody, yeah, they're almost blocking me and they're in the way. You know, everybody has the right to be on the racetrack, but it's just a respect thing. If somebody's lapping you and they're running it right up against the wall, you're right up against the wall. I mean, give them the lane. You know what I mean? So it's always important to me to make sure I race respectfully to my peers. But Kyle Larson, you know, you talk about racing against him. I mean, over the years I've raced against him, but I ain't really raced with him. You know what I mean? Because he, you know, I'm not even the same zip code. You know what I mean? His race cars, his teams have been so superb, and him as a driver. You know, I would like it if I was able to race like everybody else is trying to do. Nobody can seem to catch this guy, but man, I just go back to me. I think he is we're watching something special.
Sure.
We watched that with Jeff Gordon. We watched that with Jimmy Johnson, Tony Stewart, you know, on and on and on, Mark Martin, on and on and on. But I think we're seeing something special in the making here. We're watching history right in front of us. But this guy's going to be mega superstar. He already is.
It reminds me of, you know, if you want to put this to like a football comparison, there's certain guys that when they come out of the draft, you know, like your Peyton Mannings of the world and Patrick Mahomes, you know, all these others that you know are just prodigies from very early on. And you know, you watch them come up through the ranks and go through that rookie year, whatever it may be, and you're sitting there and you're saying to yourself, okay, this guy's going to be good. And here we're watching this about to unfold. And then when the flip switches, it's a different animal.
Yeah,
we've seen that flipped switch with Kyle Larson, where now he's in that dominating form. What I wonder, though, David, is looking at how well he's raced and, you know, getting all these wins for Hendrick Motorsports and the way that he has commanded the season. Remember that the darling of this team in 2020 was Chase Elliott, his teammates. And Chase won the championship, had a really good playoff run. Chase is in the same equipment, this defending champion, but not getting the results Kyle Larson is. What do you attest to that? Is Kyle just better than Chase as a driver, or is Hendrick giving a little extra something to Kyle or not giving to Chase?
Man, Tyler, I mean, Dominic, that's tough to answer, you know, because
question.
man,
Yeah.
Chase Elliott's a champion. I mean, you're talking about Bill Elliott's son that's been racing since he
There's
was.
got to be a little bit of jealousy, right?
Well, yeah, you know, but but you got to understand, Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, they have different engineers. They got different crew chiefs. They're both Hendrick Motorsports race cars, but you know, they have their own individual teams. You know what I mean? So the setup that Kyle Larson runs that he can run and just, you know, dominate may not be a setup that Chase Elliott likes. You know what I mean? So, you know, even though they're two totally different race car drivers, they're racing under the same stable, but it's two different teams, you know? And man, you know, to say that one race car driver is better, man, when you talk about Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, I mean, these guys are the best of the best, you know? But, you know, it's kind of interesting because I think Kyle Larson's been really good for NASCAR because all the dirt track racing people, race car drivers, the people that make a living racing on the dirt, and the people that race locally throughout the United States on dirt, you know, to have a Kyle Larson that loves dirt racing and is so great at it. And then, you know, he races Friday night at the dirt track somewhere. Then you watch him 2 days later in a NASCAR race, dominate the race. It just lets people know all over the country. If you're a dirt track guy, you're watching what this guy, and here I'm going to kind of answer your question.
Mhm.
This guy wins on 3/8 mile dirt track, a 1/4 mile dirt track, a 5/8 mile dirt track. I don't care how big or small the dirt track is, he's the man. He dominates, he wins these races, but it's telling me the great car control he has. And I tell you that I think that dirt experience and being a dirt track guy for as long as he has, you put him on the NASCAR side, and man, there's not a lot of us that can keep up with him. And I think a lot of the diehard dirt track fans and dirt track race car drivers across the country, I think they're tuning into NASCAR a lot more than they have been in the past because of Kyle Larson. He's doing a lot for our sport.
Oh, yeah.
And he's letting these dirt racers, sprint car racers, late model dirt racers say, hey, guys, if I can do this, you can do it. You know what I mean? So I just think everything about Kyle Larson has just been great for not just our racing industry of NASCAR racing, but I think in racing motorsports in America, I think he's just done a lot for the whole industry as a whole.
Well, Dominic, as far as the story of Kyle Larson goes, there's always going to be people that point to the incident of last year. That won't go away. That's always going to stay with him. But the thing that stood out to me that got my attention of when I said to myself, okay, he's got it for sure, we could move on and be rooting for Kyle, was when Willie T. Ribbs came on this very show and said glowing things about Kyle and what the conversations they had. I still go back. That's one of my favorite shows we've done, is going back and what Willie T. had to say about Kyle. That's what sold me completely of this. Kyle is a good guy and here to stay, and he's learned, he's changed, and he's about to be a champion.
Well, and you're right, possibly a champion here in 2 weeks' time, right? But I think it just goes and shows back that beyond racing, right? Life happens, things happen. We all make mistakes. None of us are perfect, and he moved on from that mistake, and he was able to right the wrong, right? You want to always try to conduct yourself in the best way possible, right? And when you mess up, you want to not only apologize but make things right. And I think Kyle Larson has done more than that in the last 18 months, right? None of us are perfect.
Yeah,
I think he's sincere. He's a sincere kid. You watch him, you can't help but see him in the garage, just see him around the racetrack. And, he's really, really engaging with the fans. He's a nice kid. And he's engaging with the NASCAR fans, and, I just think everything he's done and going back thinking about Willie T. Ribbs, man, what an honor that was to have that guy on our podcast, man. Yeah. What a great race car driver in his time. And Willie's just a cool guy.
Cool seeing him back on track with the SRX series.
Oh, my God, absolutely.
And that was a good product they put out.
Oh my God, big time,
Yeah.
Well, it was just cool to see Willie out there getting back after it. You know what I mean? Willing the heck out of those race cars. Yeah. But man, Kyle Larson, it's the Kyle Larson show, So, but there's going to be 3 other guys after next week, Martinsville race. It's interesting to look at Chase Elliott and Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch. I mean, what do we got? We got Hendrick Motorsports and Joe Gibbs Racing. I mean,
Penske's not looking too hot right now.
No, not really. But you only got
bad day today.
You got 3 organizations. You got Gibbs, you got Hendricks, and you got Roger Penske. So, but it only takes one guy. It might be one of those. Roger Penske guys next week that puts that thing in victory lane. So,
well, that's what
makes a multi-winner finish.
Right, absolutely.
Well, and that's what makes this playoff so exciting is that you can look at, okay, those 3 Penske teams were bad today. Joey Logano is how far back from 4th now?
About 26 points back. So he can make that up in one race, but that's a tall order.
Right, because it's not just 26 points behind 4th. It's passing those other guys along the way. But the fact that, this playoff of we're not just points racing, that a guy like Joey Logano, who had a bad day, that's in the last spot in the playoff, can right that wrong completely with a win, and it's like nothing ever happened. Man, that's in some ways for these guys, David, it's got to be a stress relief that they have that other option, but others, I mean, you're on your toes the entire time, knowing that, hey, if we can't win today, I sure hope this guy can't.
Man, it's going to be interesting. It just keeps everybody excited, and the playoffs, and Martinsville next week is going to be over the top. You know what I mean? Because man, you have three guys that are going to be racing their tails off. And it just that intensity, knowing that you almost got to get a win. It creates great drama. And we're going to have drama at Martinsville because it's Martinsville. You beat and bang, and man, so I'm so excited about the playoffs. So man, next week is just I can't wait for it to be here.
Exactly. You'll be at the race, right?
I'm gonna be racing on Saturday afternoon, no doubt about it, buddy.
Not Sunday.
Not Sunday.
Dominic, I want to get your opinion here. You look at that playoff picture. We know Kyle's advanced. 3 other spots up for grabs. Who gets them?
Man, it's a really, really good question because you look at that points deficit, right? I mean, Chase has got 34 points up. He's probably going to make it, right? He can just point his way in from Martinsville. He's run really well.
What's that, like a 20th place finish? Locks him in?
If you don't get stage points, you run 19th, you're probably going to make it if you're Chase Elliott. If you're Denny Hamlin, you could probably finish 12th or 13th, not pick up stage points and still advance your way in. We know there's going to be at least 2 guys that point their way in. Bless you, David. Excuse me. But this is where it gets interesting, right? Kyle Busch, who currently holds the 4th and final transfer spot, has just a 1-point advantage over Ryan Blaney. And then as you move on down the list, his Joe Gibbs Racing teammate, Martin Truex Jr. with just a 3-point deficit. And then Brad Keselowski with a 6-point deficit. We talked about it. Logano might be a little too far back. It's probably going to take a win for him to get in. But that bubble, right, for that 4th place, 4th to 7th place, 6 points separate 4 guys. I don't know. Hollywood can't script something better than that.
And when you look at those guys going for those spots, all of them are capable of winning any given week. I know that it feels like we're talking about Kyle Larson winning every week, but I mean, all those guys are super talented. Hard week in the shop away. Any one of them can do it, David. I mean, it's not going to be surprising if one of those guys that are not in that top 4 right now steals a win on Sunday.
Man, you said it you hit it right on the head, Tyler.
That's my name.
Ryan Blaney, Martin Truex Jr., Brad Keselowski, Joey. Any one of these guys can win. It's just having everything work out right that next Sunday. I mean, you got to have some luck you got to have some luck with you.
Sure.
It's Martinsville.
Chase has got to be hoping Kevin Harvick still isn't mad at him.
No doubt about it, man. There's so much drama, but like you said, Tyler, any given weekend, one of those top 8 guys can win. And what's interesting about the playoffs, if you look up if you're watching the race, sometimes all 8 of those guys are first to 8 on the track. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so you never want to count out Joey Logano. Penske cars, Brad Keselowski, Martin Truex Jr. Right? I mean, it's just, anybody can do it.
Absolutely.
So it just what makes the next weekend's race so exciting, and the intensity level is going to be off the roof. You know what I mean? So unbelievable.
A lot of fireworks expected.
Absolutely.
No doubt about it. Let's go ahead and get to our news and notes segment. But before we do, just a reminder that the folks at Whataburger cook up 100% pure beef burgers 24 hours a day. You can get your burger fix anytime, day or night at Whataburger. Proud to serve hot and fresh 24 hours a day. What a burger. Dominic, a lot of headlines in the NASCAR world. Where do we start?
I'm going to start with a report from motorsport.com. Motorsport.com is confirming that Hall of Famers Tony Stewart, Dale Earnhardt Jr., and Fox TV analyst Clint Boyer are all expected to take part in a test for the next-gen car at Bowman Gray Stadium on Tuesday, October 26th. Bowman Gray, 1/4 mile asphalt track in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, held NASCAR races over the years. 3 drivers are going to take turns in the car as the sanctioning body prepares for the car's first race, the 2022 preseason non-points Clash event, which will be held in Los Angeles. So, guys, Stewart and Jr., Hall of Famers. Clint Boyer, a 10-time winner of the Cup Series. They're bringing in some old school guys to come test this car.
You know what I like about that, David? Is it means NASCAR is actually listening to the drivers.
Man,
We've criticized them for that for a long time.
I'm just hearing. This is the first time I'm hearing. I'm excited. I'm excited about that, to have Dale Jr. and Tony Stewart, Clint Boyer. I mean, we've all heard about the next gen race car that's coming out next year for the first race in, LA, the LA Coliseum. I've heard conflicting reports. Even Carl Long is building a next gen race car. It's expensive. It's this, it's that. And I always wondered in my mind, why don't they have Mark Martin? Why don't they have Dale Jr. and Tony Stewart,
Jeff
and
Bodine.
Jimmy Johnson and Jeff Bodine and
Carl Long.
and Carl Long? Why don't they have a board of just racers, true hardcore racers, on a committee to talk about the changes? If this is a good deal, what if these
Tony Raines.
will this work
Jimmy Hensley.
or won't work? I mean, you know what I mean? So to have Dale Earnhardt Jr., Tony Stewart, Clint Boyer testing the next gen car, I'm excited about that because these three awesome superstar Hall of Fame race car drivers can help NASCAR, and it's cool because Tyler, like you said, NASCAR's listening now. You know what I'm saying? I think.
And you know how Tony Stewart is. He's
Yeah.
not going to hold back.
No. So he's
All three of them won't hold back.
Especially Stewart and Boyer.
So
Junior will be vocal too, especially Stewart.
This is not the Brian France days anymore.
No. I think this is really an important time, and I'm excited about it. And I can't wait to hear their feedback from these three great drivers.
Are you going
And
to
that's
call
gonna
them
be-
up afterwards?
Well, I don't know if I call one up, but I can't wait to talk to one of them afterwards so I can get some input from them. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So yeah, it's good. It's good stuff.
Absolutely.
You ready to drive that car? You excited about that next gen?
Heck yeah, I am, man. I'm ready to drive it tomorrow if I could. That's what we do, man. We want to race.
Are you going to miss the current Cup car at all?
Absolutely. I think I think if you asked all 40 drivers that were in the Cup race today if they were going to miss the current Cup car, I bet all 40 drivers would tell you absolutely. I mean, the current Cup car we have in the NASCAR Cup Series, the racing's awesome. The cars are awesome. Everything's great. I mean, hey guys, we're going from 5 lug nuts to 1. I mean, that's just one thing. There's not a part or a piece off the current NASCAR Cup car race car that we can use for 2022. So you're asking me a question. Am I going to miss it? And all the other drivers are. I think everyone would tell you absolutely.
Right, especially when the product has been good with it. It'd been one thing if it was, everyone was so ready for that COT car to go to the trash. That was such a bad race car. This is not the case with the current car. It's a good car they're putting out there. What else we got, David?
Those thing. I mean, we've kind of talked about him a lot this show, but just kind of looking at the numbers, right? Kyle Larson. One thing we really take a look at is 9 wins. He could be the first driver now since Jimmy Johnson in 2007 to go on and win double-digit victories in a single season. He's one away from doing that. Johnson did that in 2007 with 10 victories, went on to win the championship. And importantly, too, when you look at the wins list, I like looking at that Cup Series wins list. Kyle Larson has climbed 20 spots on the wins list since the beginning of the year. With 9 victories,
20 spots.
He's now 54th all time. He is tied with his 15th career win with NASCAR great Ernie Irvin, who's a future Hall of Famer. And you start looking at who he's approaching as he gets towards 18 and 19 and 20 wins. Ryan Newman, Jeff Bodine, Neil Bond. I mean, Larson is starting to cross into some of these numbers that are just phenomenal. Some of these guys that are Hall of Famers.
I got one more for you on the numbers front. Today, Kyle Larson, since the NASCAR schedule's been a 36-race schedule, he broke the record today for most laps led in a 36-race season, breaking Jeff Gordon's record from 2001, I believe.
And what's even more phenomenal about that, Tyler, that was at a time too, 2001 to 2017, where the Cup Series ran about 10,000 laps collectively across the 36 races. It's closer to about 8,500 to 9,000 now, so it's even harder to do something like that. You have more road courses. You don't have as many 300, 400, 500 lap races. These road course races are under 100 laps sometimes. That's even more impressive.
This guy's dominating from start to finish right now.
I'll tell you guys what's impressive is y'all know this kind of stuff. That's what's impressive. You know what I mean? I'm like,
hey, they don't call me the stats guy.
I'm sitting here listening to all this stuff. It's like, man, I'm on Tyler, Dollar. How do y'all know all these stats? But very impressive numbers, stats. But Kyle Larson, young kid. We're going to see him up there in all-time win list. I mean, I think you're going to see him, might be the third, fourth, fifth all-time winner in the Cup Series, when his career's done, because, man, he's on fire right now. So not surprised by all these numbers y'all are spitting out. But I'm impressed with Kyle Larson, Hendrick Motorsports, and I'm impressed with my co-host here. Guys,
I mean, yeah, you look at this list here, Dave. Look at some of these names, right? Curtis Turner,
yeah,
one of the NASCAR greats. Marvin Pence, Ryan Newman, Casey Kane, Harry Gant, Neil Bonnet. There's just too many cool names. Fonnie Flock. He's gonna start passing some past champions here before we know it.
absolutely.
Greg Biffle.
Man, wow, the Biff, man,
Yeah.
That's a lot of talent. Yeah, for sure.
pretty cool.
Dominic, we have anything else?
We are good on the NASCAR news notes.
Let me ask you real quick about Martinsville coming up. What are you expecting out of the paperclip coming next week?
Drama. I mean, man, there's so much at stake, and
nasty hot dogs.
when the hot dogs are awesome, you know what I mean? And
I'm with David there. I've tried them only in Daytona. So I've never
Yeah,
tried an
yeah.
authentic Martinsville hot dog, but they've had them in the Daytona International Speedway Media Center. They're pretty good, man.
No, those things are
It's
way too
tradition. It's tradition to go to Martinsville and eat a hot
I'm
dog.
sure they're even better in Martinsville. They were good in Daytona.
Yeah, they were.
That's your wife's favorite track.
She loves it. But for anybody, my wife Kim loves Martinsville because, man, it's intimate. And what I mean by intimate, it's like
It's
it's so small, and you're on top of the racetrack. I mean, it's just so you feel like you're just right there. You know what I mean? I mean, it's unbelievable.
It's like racing around two football fields, right? Is that a good comparison?
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Back-to-back football fields.
It's awesome, but a great place. But the enthusiasm, the energy, just the stress of it. I mean, there's a lot at stake. Next week's race is unbelievable, and it's at Martinsville. I mean, you throw away all the championship points and who's going to advance, who's not. You just have a race there. That's intense by itself. Just having a race at Martinsville. I don't think I've ever been to Martinsville, and I've been racing there a long time. That somebody wasn't mad at somebody, the intensity, the beating and banging, somebody spinning somebody out, somebody wrecking something. I mean, it's the product of the paperclip.
Oh,
Excitement.
And before somebody ask Bob Bacchus, they got lights. So they do. So if we won't have a situation where it's going to be dark for Victory Lane like it was Jeff Gordon's last race. So if weather or something's involved, whatever, we can get this race later, whatever it may be next week. So that should be fun. All right. Before we get to our Ask David segment, stop by Whataburger for a hot, hearty breakfast any morning or late at night. They're serving up breakfast from 11 p.m. to 11 a.m. Proud to serve it hot and fresh 24 hours a day at Whataburger. I had plenty of Whataburger in Texas. I think I made about 3 visits. How many visits you make, Donald?
I mean, 5 visits.
5.
Worth every single visit. And I'm telling you, when you read those ads, it just makes me want burgers. So thank you for making me hungry.
Yeah,
We just ate, and I'm hungry again.
Yeah. I eat like every 2-3 hours. I'm always eating.
I'm always hungry for a Whataburger.
That chocolate shake, man, that sounds good. Whataburger's coming to Kansas City thanks to my guy, Patrick Mahomes.
4 locations, right?
4 and more coming after that.
And more.
Yeah.
Wow. Is that true that he's going to be like part franchise owner in a couple of
That is correct.
That is awesome.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
That's awesome.
So
Good news,
when
man.
we come back to this track in May, we can go to Whataburger.
Absolutely.
Oh, perfect.
Maybe we can go to the one Patrick Mahomes is, a franchise owner at. Who
Sure.
knows?
Sure.
So,
Absolutely. Let's get to our Ask David segment. And Dominic, someone you'd like to introduce?
Sure. Let's bring Felice into the show. She was going to ask a question on the Ask David segment.
All right. Tell us about Felice as she's walking up there.
Sure. So Felice is my girlfriend, and she's been helping out at the racetrack the last couple of times I've gone. And come on back. Come on back.
Great photos.
Here we go.
Awesome photojournalist right here, right? She's a natural. Really good at photo taking.
A racing expert.
She's truly a racing expert. She predicted the winner in Las Vegas.
Awesome.
Yeah. So 1 for 1. So, yeah. What's your question on the Ask David segment?
Okay. So my question is, you lost a pretty bad bet.
Oh, wait.
You what?
Yeah, I lost a really bad bet. Yeah. Okay.
I want to know what the worst bet everybody's lost.
Okay. So what's the worst bet you guys have lost? And I'll tell you guys
That's
what
a
happened.
great question.
Well, okay.
Man.
Man.
Ooh, yeah. Wow.
Well, I lost pretty bad, guys. But let's hear your guys' stories first.
Okay. So mine isn't nearly as exciting as what yours is. People are about to hear quite the story here in just a second.
Oh,
But
yeah.
when I was a little kid, growing up in Oklahoma, I was a big Oklahoma Sooners fan. You know, that's where my mom went to school and everything. And one year they were playing Oklahoma State in Bedlam, big rivalry game. Oklahoma's won that thing I think it's 88 times now. Oklahoma State's only won it 13 in the history of the rivalry. Well, this one guy I went to church with, he bet me. He said, "Let's bet the OU OSU game, and if OSU wins, then you have to be an OSU fan for all of next year, and that includes when they're playing OU." And sure enough, OSU that year actually beat Oklahoma. So he made me be an OSU fan the next year.
Is there photo evidence of this?
Thank God there's not. That was a painful year, I got to tell you.
Oh, okay.
So that was probably the worst bet I've made. I've lost a lot of money gambling on sports too, but that's a whole other story.
Worst bet, Dave?
Man, I don't even remember what year it was, but it was all about Jeff Gordon and Dale Earnhardt, and a good buddy of mine from Houston. It was a big race fan. He raced a little bit himself. He bet me that Dale Earnhardt was going to win the championship, Jeff Gordon, and not Jeff Gordon. And I said, man, I'm so, it was kind of like Kyle Larson. It's hard to bet against him. And at the time, Jeff Gordon was just on fire. I said, well, hey, look, if Jeff Gordon doesn't win the championship, and I'm trying to remember, I don't remember what year it was, I'll wash your car and mow your grass for your parents, because I still live with his parents. And I will wash your car when you want it washed. And I will go to your house and mow your grass when you want me to come mow your grass. God dang, man. Was that the stupidest bet? I lost. And man, I ended up, it was about 3 months of mowing grass and washing this guy's truck, you know what I mean? And I'm like, well, it was a bet and I lost. So,
Sure.
You know what I mean? I was trying to be a good friend, and there were a couple of times like, man, I need my truck washed, taking my girlfriend to dinner. And, I said, man, dude, I'm working. I got to, one time I was going to the racetrack. He said, man, I really need my truck washed, So
Did you have to hand wash it every time?
I hand washed it every time, man. When I dried it, Armor all the tire. You know how clean freak I am. But anyway, so I kind of learned a lesson back then. Don't, betting somebody and losing a bet. I always want to be on the winning side, but sometimes you lose a bet. Be careful what you're betting, and
stupid games win stupid prizes, right?
Absolutely, man. So I don't bet too many people stupid things anymore because sometimes I'm usually the guy doing the stupid things out there that I betted on. So anyway, my betting days are pretty much over with.
Yeah, I know you like to, go.
At least that's a great question, though.
You like to go to the roulette table. Have you thought about playing Russian roulette sometime?
No, absolutely not.
Good question. What's the next question, Tom?
Well, no. It's you got to tell your story now. Get up close to that camera.
Get up close. Okay, I'm gonna get up close for you guys. I'll get up close after I tell the story.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Elise and I, we're sitting at dinner. It's about 2 months ago, and we like to go high stakes wagers, right? We've gone go-kart racing. We've just got to buy dinner, that sort of thing. So over the beginning, I guess, of fall time in December, we're sitting at dinner this one morning or this one night, and we're like, hey, we should have a high stakes bet. And because we're trying to eat healthier, right? So we said we're not eating artificial sugar, right? So we had done it for a couple of days, and we're at dinner, and like, yeah, we should totally make this a high stakes wager.
You mean no ice cream?
No ice cream.
Oh, wow.
So like no ice cream. David, this is how serious, right? No Whataburger spicy ketchup.
Oh
That's
God,
how serious we were taking this bet.
Wow.
So we're a couple days into it. We're like, yeah, we both got a headache. We're kind of talking about what should we wager. So we're sitting there, we're thinking about it. And money, not money. I like buying dinner a few times. No, let's ramp this up, right? We're even Googling things. Lisa's like, I got it. She goes, the winner, whoever caves first, right?
Right.
The winner picks a piercing for the loser.
Oh, Lord.
I was like, oh, let's do this, right? As they say in New York, all right, bet. So I shook hands on her. I didn't think I was going to lose. She didn't think she was going to lose. 8 days later, I lost.
So what did you get pierced, or do we not want to know?
So
All right. Get up close.
Yeah. No.
Turn the other way.
Other way. There we go.
There it is.
There it is. Yeah.
Look at that ugly piercing right on the nose.
piercing.
Looking like a cow.
Man, I saw
It
that.
was either that or a belly piercing. So it was like,
Dude, I saw
she had
that.
some mercy on me.
I
But still a
saw that
lot.
the other day ago, and I said, "Man, what happened to Dominic?" I thought I was going to see some.
Did you notice it, Jennings?
Did not.
Man, I did.
Sorry,
I did.
So when we
I'm not
went,
looking that close at your nose.
What do you think, Jennings?
It's small enough.
yeah.
So, I mean, at least it didn't go big.
I
That's
think-
what
So
she
when we
said.
went, right, we went to go get this thing done. I told the body person, please pick
Make it
something that looks
small.
like a birthmark or something. Make it look like not noticeable. Here we are 2 weeks later.
I got one thing to recommend to you,
Oh, God. Oh, gosh.
Dominic. I would bet her something else so you get rid of it. And whatever it is you're betting her, you be
So go
What
double or
about
nothing?
double or nothing? Yeah.
you need to no double or nothing. You need to be
win,
90%
you win,
sure
you move the piercing.
that you can win because you need to. That's not the Dominic I know. God.
So is it that noticeable, Dave?
Well, to me it was. I'm like, man, Dominic must have hit his head last week or something. Man.
I took a bet that I thought I was going to win.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah.
A few more comments on the Facebook feed. Bob writes, "Hey guys, we're racing down the interstate." Thanks for watching, Bob.
Yeah.
Bob, be careful.
If you ain't first, you're last.
Yeah.
Zach writes in, "Hey David, it's Zach from Las Cruces. I met you in Daytona in 2016. I know it's been a while, but hope you remember me. Great job today, buddy. You were nice enough to give me a water and a Gatorade in the garage area and sign a hero card and hat for me. I would love a shout out."
Oh, thanks, Zach. You're a good dude, buddy. And thanks for being a NASCAR fan.
And Las Cruces, we got New
Yeah,
Mexico. We're
That's
checking.
not too far from
Yeah.
only about 4 hours away.
Pretty good people there. You know anybody from there?
Las Cruces? No, actually, I do not. Actually, right there on the El Paso, New Mexico state
Absolutely.
line. Yeah.
Absolutely.
You ever been there?
I have.
Me
I
too.
have. Passing through.
Really?
Yeah.
It's passing through.
Yeah.
Marlene checks in, says, "How often you eat at Whataburger?"
That's a great question. More than I need to admit because my wife is probably watching. I would say in a week's time, I'm only home Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We're usually on the road back to a NASCAR race somewhere in the country. I would say 5 or 6 times in 4 days.
So what about during the off season?
It's quite often, probably once a day.
That's awesome.
A couple more questions for you coming in from Facebook. Mary writes, "Are you ready to get back to having practice and qualifying again next year?"
I am. And reason why I am, I think NASCAR did the best they could under COVID restrictions.
Sport of the year last year.
Absolutely.
Sports Business Journal.
Absolutely it is. But, I kind of miss practicing and being able to, change this, change that. And we were talking about our Brett Baer to rescue the Republic Ford Mustang Saturday afternoon. If we would have had practice, I'd have figured out in practice that, hey, there was something going on with the motor.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, Mary, great question. I'm looking forward to practice coming back, not only for us, all the drivers, the teams, but for the fans as well. I remember, before COVID, the fans would come in days earlier, and man, during practice, look up in the stands, pulling out of the garage area, and I was like, man, there's a lot of people here watching practice, But I think the race fans that come to the racetracks across the country, they make they're there 3 or 4 days, and they want to see race cars on the racetracks instead of waiting for Saturday and Sunday's race. They want to see something going on Thursday and Friday because they're there.
It's the whole fan experience.
Absolutely.
2-3 day shows.
Absolutely. So I think having the cars practice and qualifying is going to be a great thing for our sport.
Kyle wants to know, what does the first weekend in the off season feel like? There's no off season for you.
There's no. It's Matt Jennings is in the audience over here, and myself, and you're trying to get to all your partners to see, hey, did y'all have a great time this year? Man, please, you're on your knees, you're begging, hey, come back with me next year. Come try this NASCAR thing again. Let's make it bigger. Let's make it better. we need a little bit more money. I mean, it's a lot of work. The off season is really not an off season, because your teams are working on race cars. You're trying to re-up your contracts with your partners. There's so much to be done in a short period of time. Thanksgiving is here, Christmas time. I love Christmas and what it stands for. Spending some time with my family.
Still doing this show.
Still doing our show.
Yeah.
I mean, so there really is, even though we're not going to the racetrack, we're not getting on an airplane Thursday afternoon and actually going to a racetrack somewhere and racing, but we're still just as busy. And it's stressful too, because you want to make sure that, as us race car drivers, because we have to bring funding to our racing team, and we want to make sure we got enough funding. And sometimes, the holidays are here. Companies are kind of the people want time off to spend the holiday season with their families. We're trying to put deals together, and it's the most joyful, stressful time for me personally. It has been over the years since we've had to start bringing funding to our racing team. So I love the off season. I love the holiday season. I love Christmas lights. I love Christmas trees. I love Santa Claus. I love all that stuff with my family.
I'm glad you're not anti-Santa.
And my kids, and you know what I mean? It's such a beautiful, wonderful, joyful time of year, but it's also very stressful.
One of my favorite David stories, and I don't know if you've ever heard this story, Tyler, but this was, again, you can correct me on the details. I might be missing a detail or two, but this is 2018. We weren't working together just yet, but I was doing a lot of this radio freelance stuff for ESPN Albuquerque, and I'm chatting with you in the garage area at the end of the 2018 Homestead race. You looked so stressed out, right? Because it was the end of the season. But you had told me you were really looking forward to it because Kim, your boys were there at the race. You guys were going to go get something to eat. And you were getting ready to go on for a cruise for a few days. And you just looked like you went, I saw it on your face. You went from being very stressed out at the beginning of that interview to like a nice smile on your face because my family's here. We're getting ready to go on a ship and go cruise.
This season, I mean, everybody knows, and maybe the fans know or they don't know, but man, the grind of it, taking care of your sponsors, trying to get new sponsors, just trying to race good, working with your team. It's just, man, the energy it takes to do what we do, the travel, the sponsor commitments, and you get towards the end of the season and you're worried about the next year's racing season, And man, when you go to the last race of the year, which was always in Miami, Homestead, Miami, Florida, and your family comes with you, and the day after your season's over with, you can go get on a cruise ship and spend 5 or 6 days with your family. Hey man, it don't get much better than that. Yeah. You can kind of release for 5 or 6 days and just enjoy your family. Be thankful you got what you got. And but man, once that cruise ship hits the dock, it's back to
the green flag drops
again. The starts the off season. So the off season is they call it the off season, but it's not the off season.
Yeah, it's just a different time.
Absolutely.
Lori checks in, said had a great time this weekend. Got some amazing photos of you all. Thank you, Lori.
Thanks, Lori. Lori's awesome. Lori gives us great content and been a great friend and a race fan. Of ours, and just y'all know Lori.
Big support of the show since day one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Lori's great.
Clark checks in, says, "Sir, I missed dinner, David. Thank you for a great weekend."
Anytime, buddy. Anytime.
Yeah. And also, Forrest wants to know what your 2022 plans are, and we'll just have to say that you'll have to wait and see.
Absolutely. We got 2 more races this year, and
we're taking it 1 week at a time.
Absolutely. The stress level's already appearing, but
we're on to Cincinnati.
Yeah. There you go.
Oh, I love it. Any final thoughts? Let's start with Dominic. Last couple of weeks, I've had a great time with you guys. And Dominic, we're not done with the season yet, but man, what a nice little few weeks it's been here.
I know, it makes me think we got to be doing this at some point every week. It's a lot of fun doing this face to face in the flesh, doing it live. It's fun doing it on Zoom. Don't get me wrong, it's fun having guests, but there's just something about doing the show live.
It's cool.
It's a lot of fun.
Even when we have an audience of 2 tonight, we feel like a rowdy bunch.
Oh, we sure do. And it's a lot of fun working with you guys, and it's a lot of fun to be at 3 of the last 4 races, the 21 races, 2018. So it kind of feels like that, being back on the road. It's a lot of fun.
It's really cool to do this podcast with you guys, because my perspective as a race car driver and a mechanic and, all our sponsors, and y'all just bring so much knowledge and, statistics. I sit here and we do our podcasts. And, I'm getting educated what's going on in our industry. You know what I mean? Y'all know the news of the week and what's going on. Learning that Tony Stewart and Dale Jr. and Clint Boyer are going to test the next gen car here in a couple of days. I had no idea. I mean, that's awesome. And hearing, we all know Kyle Larson is, obviously the hottest driver in the world right now. And but to hear some of his numbers and what he's doing, I mean,
but in the historical context.
Absolutely. But the truth of the matter is, we're so busy. Matt Jennings, myself, Brett Baer, Whataburger, all the people that make up our racing and enables us to be able to race. We're so focused on what we're doing, and sometimes it's hard to keep all the going ons in the sport of NASCAR racing. So I really enjoy our podcast because it gives us time to slow down, reflect, understand what's happening in our sport, listen to Tyler, listen to Dominic and Tyler, and I learned from you guys. But this has been a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
And man, I'm excited about next week. I mean, I'm excited to race Xfinity race next week. There's a championship going on right there, and then what's going to happen on Sunday afternoon in Martinsville is going to be off the chart, man. The intensity is going to be amazing. And we'll talk about this next week on our podcast. But, there's going to be a surprise. There's going to be a lot of drama. There's going to be some mad drivers, mad teams. It's just cool stuff, man. So
it will be.
Absolutely. But, man, it's been fun.
Any thank yous you need to get out of the way here?
Man, it's been fun with all you guys, I'm sure. But, man, today's race wasn't possible without, I had so many great sponsors. Wilkerson Crane Serve Rentals, obviously Brett Baer to rescue the Republic, Steely Lumber Company, Brown and Brown Dealer Services. Thank you. I mean, they were on our hood this week. Midwest Mobile Tech, my buddy Mark and his daughter McKenna. Sorry, McKenna.
Sorry, McKenna. She's great.
Yeah, Cantera Design Builders. Just, man, all the people that support us and give us the money to do what we love to do. I'm so humbled and just blessed that that somebody would help us do what we do. It's amazing. Thank you.
You know what? I'm going to throw a bone to Jennings. We're not going to run out of time for Jennings this time. Do we have anything else from your end? Anything we need to cover? Anything you want to bring up here?
I mean, it's
You have to stand in front of the microphone.
We're covering this right here. So we've got Brett's been very kind to send us some, and I'm not sure I'm leaving this up to you podcast guys as to how we do this, but
we'll select.
So
I wanted to surprise it for the end. Here's what I was thinking. Since the people that got interactive with the show, we're going to select. What is it? We're giving away 5 books.
I got 5. Yeah.
Okay. 5 books to people that commented live during the show. So we'll pick those out and we'll direct message you and need your address and a couple other information notes. We'll reach out to you that way. But I figured let's reward people that were involved in the show.
Absolutely. So he's been very kind to sign some books for us. And we've distributed a couple to they come with this
certificate of authenticity.
I like it. But, I mean, he's as authentic as they come, and
yeah, he is.
He's been authentic to us for what, four races now.
Absolutely.
So,
thank you, Brett.
Thank you, Brett. And we're going to be authentic to him based on just some struggles that we had, but we're going to Martinsville next week. And the General is going to run Martinsville on Saturday.
Awesome.
So,
All right.
it's been a long weekend here in Kansas with David going on Saturday and Sunday both. But we're going Saturday only next week. Saturday only, the General in Martinsville, Virginia. Maybe I know I just saw a post from Brett. He's at Congressional Country Club. So I know he's back on the East Coast. Maybe we'll check his schedule. We'll maybe look for another bookstore next week to where we can park the General out front. We had a very successful event at Books A Million on Friday afternoon. prior to the Kansas race here, and we went out there and we parked the car out front of Books A Million. And what I mean, obviously, this is such a popular book in the nation right now, being the #1 bestseller. But what a great opportunity that was to to do some off the track work, do some off the track relationships with regards to the sport. And David was out front, and we met all kinds of people. It was the largest retail establishment in the state of Kansas, sits right offside, and I know. This guy's from, you went to college here, so you know, yes, you know the legends right outside the racetrack. And man, what a great opportunity that was, just to step outside the racetrack and just not only meet race fans, but meet just
fans.
Retail shoppers, just meet
everyday fans.
Yeah, meet some new fans.
It was
people,
cool. Yeah.
People were walking past, and people were just people were coming there to buy books. Were just in awe of what we had done with the car. It was like, as David mentioned, the car was a great looking car. Oh my gosh, was that car so good looking?
Beautiful, man.
So it was great. What a great car. And it was a good weekend. I mean, outside of just the on track results, we didn't get what we needed, but as anybody knows about the sport, you just keep digging. And David always says, you keep digging, man. I mean, so you get the results will come with the effort and the work. But I can't thank you guys all enough for your work with regards to the podcast here and everything else. But the big things to look forward to. And as David mentioned, the off season it's not an off season. It's not.
It's a year-round sport.
This is the easiest. The easiest part is, I would say, during the season. So the off season becomes incredibly busy.
Absolutely.
But thank everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Thank you guys. Yeah. I mean, thank everybody.
Yeah.
So
And thank you to the fans, the people that
absolutely.
The people,
Can't do it without y'all.
No doubt about it. The
Yeah.
people tuned in to our podcast week in and week out. Man, we appreciate the support, and thanks for listening to our insight. These guys got a lot of insight on what's going on in the industry, and we're humbled and honored that we have fans to watch our show. Thank y'all.
Guys, it's been good seeing you the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I'll look forward to our Zoom chats throughout the off season, and see you again in person in Daytona.
I'll see you in person in Phoenix.
Awesome, man. All right, guys.
Boys, it's been a lot of fun. As always, subscribe to Let's Go Racing with David Starr on Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts, YouTube. Hit that like button. Leave us a 5-star review, or don't leave us one at all. And you can also follow us on social media, facebook.com/David Starr Podcast, Twitter @Starr Podcast, and by email, davidstarpodcast@gmail.com. For Dominic, Aragon, David Starr, Matt Jennings, Feliz, our entire crew, it has been a lot of fun bringing you the show the last couple of weeks. We'll see you again next week on another edition of Let's Go Racing. We'll put the checkered flag out on this show, and see you next week here on Let's Go Racing. 1, 2, 3. Let's go racing!
That's awesome, man. That's good.